Did you know we feel losses about 2.5 times more strongly than gains? And that simple fact can help you boost your pre-order sales? I'm Ollie from Pre-Product, and in this video I'm going to show you 3 ways to boost urgency for your pre-order campaigns. We're only going to look at ethical, transparent approaches which maintain your hard-earned customer trust. We'll also look at why they work and how to actually implement them on your storefront, so it's not just theory. The first idea is loss aversion, which I mentioned in the intro. So that's the idea that a message framed as a potential loss can often be more persuasive than a gain, and the person who kind of pioneered this was Daniel Kahneman, who you've probably heard of from his book Thinking Fast and Slow. So what it is it's just that it's the tendency to avoid loss over acquiring a potential gain. So people are more risk averse than they are the opposite. So how can this help us sell more pre-orders on an e-commerce storefront? Well, it's about framing your pre-order incentives around what customers will lose if they wait. For example, limited time discounts, bonuses that expire, countdown timers, or limited stock reminders. And a good place to see this in the world is actually Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is known for having these kind of tiers. I'll scroll down a little bit. And the tiers have certain thresholds, so certain maximum limits. Once 200 is sold through of that first tier, it won't be available, and the next tier down will often be more expensive or not include a certain free gift or a certain colorway or a certain bonus. So these are all kind of taking advantage of that loss aversion dynamic. But how can this help us with an e-commerce storefront? Well, there's more pared back approaches. So you can have a kind of, first 200 customers get this free gift, or first 100 customers get this specific discount. So you're actually being upfront that is actually going to happen. It's not like, you're not cheating anyone. It's just a kind of little bonus for them for ordering fast, and then you kind of get the benefit of momentum. Number 2 is the scarcity principle by Robert Cialdini. And this is the effect that limited availability often increases perceived value. So when people see something as rare, it's often perceived as more desirable or more valuable. So how can we use this with pre-orders? Well, limited edition drops great for this because there's often inherent to the product that you're releasing. It's limited edition. There's only a finite number of those units available. So that can be a really powerful thing to pull on your marketing. And you can make scarcity, make sure the scarcity is genuine and explain why. Look, this is a limited edition. At this point, at least, we're not, bringing it to year-round availability. And it's a little bit of a tried example at this point, but Supreme, they were masters of this. I think they've been sold to a bigger company at this point, but their whole brand was built off this limited edition drops dynamic. And for example, this video playing now, that's a video with 232,000 views, all about how you can quickly check out one of these limited edition drops. They've created that much pull from their customer base that people were falling over themselves to get at it. So it's for a way for you to kind of refashion this limited edition drop mechanism in a way which makes sense for your brand or your store. And another quick example of this scarcity principle at work is Booking.com. So you can see going down these lists, these are bookings for Sydney, like rentals for Sydney, and they've got this big red kind of message: only 2 left at this price on our site, only 4 rooms left, only 7 left. So they know that that messaging is enough to kind of push up conversion rates for these rooms. Number 3 is also by Robert Cialdini, and it is social proof. So quote from him is, especially when they are uncertain, people will look to the actions and behaviors of others to determine their own. So it's a little bit at odds with that scarcity principle, but it's about when people follow other people's behavior to guide their own decisions. If a product looks popular, for example, it feels safer to buy. There's less mental kind of friction there. So how can you use this with pre-orders? Well, there's apps out there, and we'll look at a couple in a second, where they can show demand in real time. So purchase notifications, counters, user-generated content and reviews, for example. You've probably seen those kind of tiles, cards which pull in from Instagram or TikTok, which show other users users with that same, other customers, I should say, with that same product, you know, being happy about the fact that they've purchased. So this is a newer app that I was just looking at, and I think the screenshots kind of show you some of the different approaches to this. For me, I think some of these techniques can look quite tacky, quite quick, but I think there is tasteful versions of it. So you'll see here 17 people watching now. That seems like a reasonable thing to show. I don't, you know, you're not being pushy at all. Hurry, so you know, the messaging maybe is a bit more compelling, but it comes down to how you feel about the language displayed on your site. So hurry, 51 people are checking this out. Secure your deal now. And then another one which is maybe a little less direct. Hot trend, over 121 shoppers have shown interest in the past hour. Oh, okay. Don't miss out. So maybe a little less indirect at the end. But yeah, so those were top bars, but you can do things on the PDP above the add to cart button as well. And yeah, free Shopify extensions, you can put messaging on the checkout too now. Yeah, all these kind of symbols of social proof, you can kind of knit together in a way that you're comfortable with and you think's not kind of degrading your brand in any way. And then on the user generated content side, Miele is a brand that we work with at Pre-Product, and they're kind of direct-to-consumer dumplings, but like done in a very high-end way. And if you go down here, you can see 225 reviews and all kind of pulling in content, so people can kind of read through the quotes from actual people. And you know, it's very obvious this isn't from a photo shoot. This is a proper shot, so a lot of credibility, and you can get your social proof in that way as well. So that's 3 approaches to creating urgency. So we looked at creating a sense of scarcity, we looked at loss aversion, and then last of all we looked at social proof. And as normal, I need to mention Pre-Product. So I work on a pre-order app. We're available to Shopify, BigCommerce, and WooCommerce, and any of these techniques would be compatible with Pre-Product. And you can start on a free plan where you only pay commission. So if you don't make any pre-order revenue, we won't charge you anything. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'd love a like or subscribe. Cheers.